That was an amazing showreel. And we have Rutul Patel, who's leading up Digital Districts India division here with us today. Thanks so much for joining us today, Rutul. And it's a pleasure to have you here. You're obviously a veteran in the CGs and VFX space, and you're also diving much deeper into meta fashion. And Aman and I are really looking forward to hearing more about your journey and what you're currently doing with meta fashion. So it would be great if you could, just introduce yourself to the global audience as well.
So thank you for having me. Okay. So I have been an art student from my childhood. I went to fine art school, which is very traditional. We were given a piece of paper and never to ever touch computer until we reached the final year. And like everything was traditional. That was back in 2000. And by the time it was 2003, Photoshop and all the other basic software started getting introduced in India. After which I actually was really keen on exploring that space. So I decided to go to US and pursue my art direction in film school. Actually design school, it's Academy of Arts, and they there are much more open to all the softwares. So there I learned multiple softwares, like, okay, what is Nuke, what is Maya, what is different editing softwares and things like that. Then my hobby, like since my background has been art, I naturally tilted towards matte painting, which is a combination of art direction and concept art. And from there, when I came back to India, there was no such matte painting department in any VFX studio, including rhythm and hues. So I joined as a texture painter with a full intention of converting one of the department into a matte painting department. And that's where, like, when this fashion thing came in, I started seeing all the maps, and all those texture painting maps started coming in my mind that, oh my God, this is like, my calling. Because during my master, I took an elective, which was fashion construction, where I learned how to stitch and make clothes by hand, not digitally, by hand. So I was like, hey, you know what if we merge these two? And many people are doing it. I really wanted to know, and how do I take one step further and take this into a visual effects industry and a real-time rendering industry, which is inside Unreal or inside Unity or gaming, or like doing a digital version of fashion show, or like, futuristic movies that could use these kind of techniques. So that's my background and how I plan to take the history of art into future, what you call the metaverse of fashion. Yeah. So apart from all the visual effects, we have a R&D on the side, which we do it over the weekend and in the late nights between like couple of us, where we are planning to create a like kind of a brand which experiments with digital fashion. It is not to make money or not to create anything as such. Right now, all we want to do is experiment. And how do we extend our knowledge of VFX into fashion industry is the goal of that particular brand. The brand will be called La Chicola.
Amazing.
And our brand baseline will be meta definition of tradition, where we will be focusing on all the tradition, not just Indian, but across the world eventually, and trying to bring and like store all the information that has been there for thousands of years into like one particular place where other people, like today's kids who don't know what like embroideries are because they've not physically ever seen it, they can understand that, hey, this is like how it was supposed to be, and now we can do the same thing in the digital space without wasting any material. I wanted to focus is the how all our cultures, like different part of the world, have different tradition, where we have embroideries and all the styles of different cloth, like textile design, as well as how do we use like all the textile design in bring it inside like computer and make it a little bit easy for pretty much anybody to use it in future. Like say, suppose if I were to collaborate with a XYZ fashion designer from the industry, and if they have a very heavy like wedding style embroidery or flowers and like stitches and things like that, then how do we make sure that we integrate that? We are working purely based on all those material related clothing. So how the lace works, how the threading works, how the stitches work, how the pleats works, things like that, and taking it further, like probably taking those things and making like shoes out of it, or like taking it into a headgear category, like things like that is what we are focusing. And once we have a like a working workflow for VFX, because VFX is a little bit tedious. It's not just like doing one fashion show or one particular way of doing, because there are multiple things that you have to integrate and multiple software that come in play. So like my keen interest would be whatever R&D that I do in making clothes, and we can do collaboration with other cool small or bigger brands in future, and then take that learning and apply that into visual effects industry.
Yeah, I think what innovations are you looking forward to, when it comes to meta fashion or digital fashion? We're obviously seeing a lot of, breakthroughs with, AI as well currently. And I've just seen some wonderful things, that artists using Mid-Journey and, similar
DALL-E.
stacks have, generated, and like right from like the most insane sneakers I've come across, right? So what are you looking forward to? And also like specifically, when it comes to like, we've seen how long cloth simulations take in an offline rendering process, but with a heavy push in real time, I'm curious to hear what you're really excited about in terms of breakthroughs, and what the significance of meta fashion, so to speak, is going to be in the years to come.
So the biggest impact, so like someone like me, while I have been very much intrigued with all the technology coming in, like including, as you said, Mid-Journey, DALL-E, like as we speak, we work for years and years and years to develop something, and tomorrow like AI comes in and they come up with something even cooler, and then you get a little bit more greedy and like, okay, you know what, how do I use this now that I've been planning this, but how do I pivot and try to integrate this as well? So that has always been a like kind of my what you call jealous side, which goes into computer and every day discovers something and like try to utilize it at best of our abilities. And second part of it is like, how is that I've been very close to nature. Like I have been gardening and composting since I was like 25. Like in US and as well as Paris, they're very strict. You have to segregate all your garbage. I lived there from 2005 to 10. Then in Paris, I was living between 2013 to 17, 18, and they were very particular. And I came back to India again, and I'm here. People are doing whatever it pleases. Like if you want to throw something in the sea, they can throw it. So coming back to that is that, how do we use this particular technology to reduce our carbon footprint? Like say, hey, XYZ wedding dresses, or for example, some of the fashion designer, they have to make multiple itineraries, like probably thousands and thousands of those, and then realize that, hey, I can only sell 100 because there is not market for other 900. So instead of them doing that, they can pretty much do like a digital fashion where they can make it based on order, rather than like making things that are going to be wasted. And today's real estate, it's not just about what you make, also how you store it, because like that is becoming a biggest challenge in every part of the world, where people buy insane amount of clothes, and then after wearing it once or twice, they have to carry it for years and years just out of guilt, because they spend so much money buying it. So like removing that guilt, like if you're going to use that for one of the digital event, you made something by yourself and you used it in your metaverse party or something like that, and you're not obligated to buy particular piece, wear it all the time. You can just wear it once or twice, and that's it. And you can simplify your life, like your physical life in the world, and not have to collect every piece of like fashion that you acquired because you wanted to attend XYZ party. And that is one of the reason that I got more involved. Like I've been minimizing my wardrobe since last 10 years, and I've been pretty unsuccessful. And I'm hoping that after COVID, I have become better. And I think once, like last 2 years, if that continues and the fashion, because like everybody else, I also get a little bit like curious. Hey, I want this, I want this. And if I can start having all of it digitally, and I can create my own digital avatar and put it on, that curiosity is gone, right? I don't have to physically own that piece.
Cool. I guess that's it. Any closing
Yeah.
notes or remarks? Thanks so much for joining us today.
So thank you so much for having me. I just want to do like, I want to make something that can be created, like other people should be able to follow and take it forward, train the team that can lead this entire revolution forward. So, and I hope that many more people would like to become part of it.